Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of XLR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a light classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Wanna get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. XLR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if XLR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with XLR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank XLR for being a part of it.
very much interested in learning digital marketing course for a very long period of time, but I don't get a proper platform. So later for my college, I get to know about XLR and I enroll in XLR course. It was really good experience. Our course has been taken by Mayur sir, and he was very good teacher. He not only focusing on theory part, he is doing how real digital marketing works, and it was in total very good experience. I get so much of knowledge here. They're not only focusing on study, they are also conducting different exam to test our knowledge, and as we are giving the exam, so to appreciate our work, they give certificates for the toppers, and along with the certificate they give hampers. Thank you, XLR.
Recently, I was searching for digital marketing courses online in Google, and I came across XLR and I attended a digital marketing course which was for 15 days. My mentor Mayur helped me for attending these classes. So he is a very informative and helpful guy. In the course end, there is a exam which I topped. So I came to the XLR office in Bengaluru. This digital marketing course has helped my career and my skills to develop, and the certificate has helped my company to join. Thank you, XLR.
I came to know about this course from my college. Actually, for learning platform, this is very nice, and I learned from here ChatGPT and AI from online. Because he's teaching for me for AI generative and ChatGPT. We are using this technology in more. And after finishing the courses, I came from for collecting the certificate. I seeing the classrooms and faculties. Classroom is very nice. After the completion of exam, they will give gift and certificates. Thank you, XLR, for giving these courses. I learned a lot of from this. I gained the more knowledge from here. And thank you for XLR for teaching us.
Hi guys, good morning, good evening rather. Am I audible to everyone? Yes guys, am I audible?
Yes, good evening, sir. You're audible. You can start with it.
Yeah, sure. So let me open up. I just had to restart my system. So give me time to join. Let me start my Eclipse. Yeah, I'm just trying to open up the software. It's a bit slow today. It's taking time, okay? I'll just shout out once the software is ready. So I'm here. Yes, guys, my Eclipse has booted, and tell me, our batch was this interview preparation batch. Am I audible to everyone, guys? So we were into, today is our day 8. Yeah. So today is the day 8th session. Okay, so of the features of Java, we had reached, okay, let me check for you guys. Which all features we had covered in day 7. So let's start with abstraction for today. Very important feature and very underrated as to what is abstraction. Okay, so abstraction means hiding the underlying details of explanation. You hide the underlying details of explanation and you just show the overview. Okay, you just show the, so it's hiding the underlying details of explanation and only exposing, yeah, correct, and only exposing the outer functionalities. Okay, so you don't expose the implementation details. Okay, so you hide the implementation details, you hide the implementation and only show the functionality. Okay, so if I take a case of a remote control for your television, okay, the manufacturer will just give you 2 buttons for the plus and minus of the volume. Okay, so to increase the volume and to decrease the volume, he will just give you a 2 buttons and write over here wall. Now internally, how it is achieving this feature, inside what register is there and what motherboard they have used and what circuitry they have formed and what technology they have used, that they will not expose it to the user. They will just expose the functionality to the user, that you want to increase the volume, you hit on the plus. You want to reduce the volume, you hit on the minus. You want to increase the channel, you hit on the plus. You want to reduce the channel, you hit on the minus. So there will be one plus minus the channel also. Okay. So like this, they will just give you the functionality internally, how they are implementing, that will never be exposed to the customer, right? Similarly, if let's say we have 2 restaurants, okay, so if we have 2 restaurants, restaurant A or hotel A, let's say, and we have hotel B. So hotel B has lots of customers. Okay, so hotel B is mostly full every time, and there's always lots and lots of customers visiting the hotel. But hotel A is very sparsely populated. Not many customers visit hotel A. So the owner of the hotel A then now comes to hotel B as a customer. So now the owner of hotel A has come to hotel B, and now he is behaving as a customer. So he is a customer to the hotel, so he will be shared the menu card. Okay, he will be shared the menu card, and he reads that mostly all the dishes are the same which his hotel is selling. He is selling the same thing. So then he tells maybe they prepare it in a different way. So then he goes and tells, please, can you call the chef? I need to speak to him and want to discuss this recipe. Will they expose the chef to this customer? Will they allow him to interact with the chef? Will the hotel leak their trade secret? Yes, guys, what do you all say? Will they allow him to indulge and interact with the chef? No, right? So internally, how it is prepared, that is hidden. So kitchen is hidden from the customer. The kitchen is abstract. Okay, so the kitchen you can think of is hidden, and only the menu card is shown to the customer. So the menu card is an abstract view of the application. So abstract view of the hotel, not the complete view of the hotel. The menu card is not giving the complete idea. It is just giving an abstract idea. The complete details are in the kitchen, how they are prepared. Okay. So similarly, in our object-oriented programming, we use the concept called as abstraction. And to apply abstraction, we can use either abstract class
Shouldn't just wait for 2 minutes, like trainer had some issue, he will rejoin again.
Hey, hi guys. There's no electricity at my place. If you see the background is pitch dark, I had to switch to a mobile hotspot to join again. So sorry for the inconvenience. I hope I'm audible to everyone, guys. Yes, guys.
Yeah, yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah. So I'm setting the pitch dark now. So okay. So we can achieve abstraction using either abstract class or by using a interface. Okay, either abstract class or interface. Now, okay, so let me explain this also with regards to an example so that you all become comfortable. Yeah, so okay, so if I take a prism, okay, a triangular, no, a pyramid shape of glass, and I pass white light through it. Okay, so let me reverse my screen. So I take a prism. So like this, I take a prism and I pass white light through it. What happens to this white light? It gets reflected into Vibgyor, right? It gets refracted into violet. Okay, so indigo, blue, green, okay, yellow, blah blah blah. So white light contains all the light, and if you pass through a prism, it will reflect everything, right? So now let's revert back to our normal screen. So what is white then? White, I will say, is presence of all colors. Okay, white, because if it white light is passed through a prism, will reflect all the colors. So white is presence of all colors. Then what do you think is black? What is black then? If white is presence of all colors, just the opposite of white. So it's absence of all colors. Then what is gray? Then what is gray? Gray is a mixture of black and white. I hope all are understanding clear what I'm trying to show. So we have white, that is of all colors, we have black, absence of all colors, and we have gray, which is a mixture of black and white. So similarly, if I have a class, and in that class I have function 1. Now, is this function having an implementation? So how many functions are there in this class? Yes, ma'am.
One by charges on.
Yeah, this one. There are two of okay.
All of them.
All are your chargers?
Yes, all are my charges.
Even the phone? It's under the phone. Thank you. So how many functions do we have in this class? 1, 2, and 3. And all have some implementation. All the functions, they have some implementation, means they have some body. There's a body associated with each function. You can write anything into that body. SOP, hi, bye, whatever you wish to write, you can write. So each function has an implementation. Hi, bye, good night. So now my question to you all is, total, how many functions are there? Total, how many functions are here? Yes, guys, will tell me. Total number of functions. They are total 3 functions, right? And how many have an implementation? How many have an implementation? How many have an implementation? Okay. The screen visible, guys? Okay, so total how many? 3. And total 3 functions, how many have an implementation? How many have implementation? How many means how many have a body? How many functions have a body? All 3 have the body. So I will call them presence of all bodies. Presence of all bodies. The presence of all bodies. So if in a class, if every function which is present has a implementation, body mean implementation, okay? That is definition. If every function has an implementation, such a class is called as concrete class. We don't write it against it, but it's a term used to describe a class wherein all the methods, they have an implementation, okay? So don't not write concrete before the class, just a terminology used to describe a class wherein all the methods have their implementation. So if this is, okay, the power is back. Maybe I'll switch back to my mobile hotspot, Wi-Fi now. So concrete class. So opposite of white, so white is concrete class. Just the other end of the spectrum, we have something called as interface. Something called as interface. So if I have an interface B, you will see that in an interface, so interface B, if you see, we'll have method in interface, and none of the methods will have an implementation. So a method which does not have an implementation is called as an abstract method. Is called as a method which does not have an implementation is called as an abstract method. So in interface, function 1 also is abstract, function 2 also is abstract, and function 3 also is abstract. So abstract function, if asked in the interview, you need to say abstract function is a function which has a name but does not have any implementation. Okay, and if you want to go further technical and use more heavy technical words, instead of name, you can say has a function declaration. The function is declared but does not have any, okay, you can say body over here, and a better way of saying is does not have a function definition. Yeah, this would be more suitable. These jargons, these technical terms would be more suited for the interview comparatively. Okay, so a function which has a name but does not have any function definition. So here you have the declaration as well as the definition. Declaration plus definition. So body is the function definition. So this is a definition of an abstract function. The function which has a name, that is function declaration, but does not have any body, that's a function definition. And in an interface, all the methods are abstract. So if I have 100 methods in an interface, all the 100 will be abstract. So here again, let's come and do this arithmetic. How many functions? Total 3. And how many have body? Body have nil, 0 have body, so none. So a programming paradigm in which no function has an implementation is called as an interface. Then tell me, what should be gray now? Use your just use your common sense and try to relate one thing with another and tell me what would be gray. So gray would be mixture of black and white. So mixture of implementation as well as abstract. If I make a class C, okay. So now you all tell me total how many methods are there. Okay. Yeah. So tell me, let's do this arithmetic over here also. Total how many and how many have a body? Total 3. And body means the declaration is there for only 2. So one function is abstract. If in a class, okay, now try to recollect and remember what I'm trying to say. If in a class I have even one single abstract method, that class becomes an abstract class. And you have to prefix the keyword abstract. You have to prefix the keyword abstract. No need to prefix the keyword concrete, okay? It is understood that if a class is having implementation, such a class is called as concrete class. And concrete class can be instantiated, means you can make an object of the concrete class. A obj is new A. We can create the object of the concrete class. It is permissible. But abstract class cannot be instantiated. So if you try to do this, C obj is new C. This is not permissible. It will not allow you. We cannot instantiate a abstract class because it has an abstract method. The reason we cannot instantiate an abstract class is it is having an abstract method. What if the customer then using this object obj tries to call function 3? What will you return? What will you give him? Nothing, right? There's nothing to do because it's abstract method. So that's the reason Java does not permit to create a object of a abstract class because obj.function3 cannot be called because it's an abstract method. Okay, so are these three terms understood now? What is a concrete class? What is an abstract class? And what is an interface? So if abstract class cannot be instantiated, then what is the purpose of abstract class? The only purpose of abstract class is it can be used for inheritance. It can be used for inheritance. It can be used for inheritance. So if you want to benefit from an abstract class, compulsory you have to inherit it. So if we need to benefit from an abstract class, compulsory we need to inherit it. Compulsory we need to inherit it if we need to benefit from an abstract class, because abstract class on its own it cannot be instantiated. So to benefit from the abstract class we need to inherit it. And then do what? And then give implementation to the abstract method. Then we have to give the implementation to the abstract method. And if you want to benefit from the interface, if we need to benefit from the interface, a class must implement it. So you extend a class and you implement the interface. Remember it, guys. You extend a class and you implement a interface. And the class which is implemented in interface then will give body to all these methods. Whichever class is implementing the interface, it is the responsibility of that class to override all these methods. Okay, so now let me explain you all with examples as to what I am trying to show you all over here. Okay, is my paint screen visible to all? I have shared a new fresh paint screen, or are you seeing the old screen? You are able to see the fresh screen, right? So, right? Concrete class, Fatima, is a class which has, if there are 3 methods declared, all the methods will have an implementation. So the number of methods which are there in the class, each method has an implementation. Such a class is called as concrete class. Such a class is called as concrete class. So see over here. So all this while, whichever classes we were making, they all were concrete class. So let's say yesterday, if I made a class, let's say we made a class employee yesterday. So can you tell me how many methods are there in this class employee? How many methods are there in the class employee, guys? My Eclipse, I have shared my Eclipse screen to you all. Is it visible? So is my total, how many methods are there? 2 methods. And they both have an implementation, right? So such a class wherein each method has the implementation, such a class is called as concrete class. So you don't write before it. You don't write over there concrete class. You don't write this. It's just a terminology used to describe a class wherein there is no abstract method. Each declaration has a definition. Each declaration has a definition. That is called as a concrete class. Because going forward, we will have classes. Let's say I make a class. Okay. So now if I, let's say if I have a class employee. Okay, so I'll not write the right kind of class keyword, I'll just write employee. So now if I write a class employee, and I'll just take this code from here and I paste it over here. Now this package class employee has so if I make salary and I make commission also. If I make commission, let's say this, okay, and I accept his. So if I accept the enter salary, enter commission goes into commission. Employee commission, let's say I say this dot commission. Now, how many methods are there? Tell me in this class employee, which is on the screen. How many methods are there on in this employee class, which is on the screen? Yes, guys. Total number of methods. Total number of methods. 3. How many have a definition? Definition means body, function body. How many methods have function definition? 2. And how many methods do not have a function definition? So the function which does not have a function definition, so it is showing me error over here. We prefix abstract before that function. And if in a class I have even one single abstract method, that class, it's showing red over here, that class qualifies to be a abstract class. Now my errors will be gone. Am I understood? What is an abstract class? So if in a class you have even one single empty method, and an empty method is called as a abstract method, then that class becomes an abstract class. Now, can I instantiate this class? Okay, I'll just name it my employee so that you all can. So what it is telling is either you rename this file as my employee or make it the file name and the class name should be same. So I come here, right click, refactor, and rename this class as my employee. Okay, so now this error should be gone. So now if I come here, so see if you observe that it has put a over here. See, it has put a on top of this Java file, indicating it's an abstract class. So now let me go and make a class called as driver app, and that I will store the main method. And now if I try to instantiate my employee, will it allow me to instantiate? Tell me guys. My employee me1 equals to new my employee. Tell me, will it allow me to instantiate this? Yes, no, maybe. Is it allowing me to instantiate this class? Why is it not allowing me to instantiate this class? Instantiate means to create an object of. Is it allowing me to create an object of this class? No. Reason being this. Reason being this. You cannot did I write anywhere? Did I write anywhere? We cannot make an instance. That is called instantiate. We cannot make an instance. Instance means object of an abstract class. Cannot create an object of an abstract class. Abstract class will solely be used for the purpose of inheritance. So now what do we do with an abstract class now? So now you make another class. Okay. My new employee. Okay, I make another class. My new employee. And one class extend another class, right? We did inheritance yesterday. So one class will extend another class. So my new employee will extend which class? My employee. Now, what is the responsibility of my new employee now? It has to now give implementation to this method. So it's the job of that class which is inheriting to give implementation to the abstract method. So that's why it is asking over here, putting a red line. So it is telling that you have two options. If you're not going to implement this method, make this class also abstract. And if you want to make it a concrete class, then you have to implement that method. So you will say, I'll better implement the calculate income. And I will say, yes, ma'am. So now what you'll do is double total income will be this dot salary. Okay, as they were private, I guess they will not inherit, did they? See, they were private, so they did not inherit. So whenever you want to do inheritance, always remember to change the specifier to protected, because private data does not inherit, it will not be inherited. So that's why I make all of them as protected. So now once I save it, and now if I come over here, this dot C, I can say this dot salary plus this dot commission. Now I have given the implementation to this method. So now my new employee becomes a concrete class. Now my new employee is a concrete class. If I wish to make an object of my new employee, I can make it. If I wish to make object of my new employee, it will surely allow me see. It is not stopping me to create the object. So an abstract class is a compulsory inherit class, and whichever class is inheriting the abstract class is the responsibility of that class to give implementation to the abstract method. Am I understood, guys? Are you all relating with the terms? What is an abstract class? Is a very common question for interview room to discuss. What is an abstract class? So now who can summarize and tell me what is an abstract class? So now who can summarize as to what is an abstract class? Okay, Naga, let me try once again. See, what if this slide is understood? Yes, Diksha, it has function definition, but no function declaration. That is called as an abstract method. Diksha has function definition, but no function declaration. And if in a class we find even one single abstract method, such a class is called as an abstract class. In abstract class, no, Aman. Of abstract class. Of abstract class, we can't create object. In the abstract class, we can create an object. If you are in the abstract class, this is an abstract class, right? So here, if I want to create, I can always create an object. So I can make any object over here. Let's say I'm making a scanner class object. So you can make an object over here. Object creation inside the abstract class. You can always make an object. As it is not being used, it is showing like this. Or we already have an object over here. See, that's why. So of an abstract class, you cannot create an object. An abstract class is one which has even one single abstract method. Okay. So a method which has declaration but no definition is called as an abstract method. If in a class I see even one single abstract method, such a class becomes an abstract class. Abstract class cannot be instantiated. Abstract class sole purpose is inheritance. That compulsory you have to inherit the abstract class. Does that make sense to you, Manisha? Perfect. So now, okay, see, we have two keywords in Java. If asked in the interview, be very confident in answering them. Final. So if in the interview, if you are asked, what is the final keyword in Java used for? Okay, so do not spontaneously start answering the question. Take your time to think and answer. Okay, it's like asking, it's like saying India is the largest country. Okay, so when you say it is the largest country, okay, before that, guys, I'll just touch on polymorphism. I'll just touch on polymorphism a little bit. I'll just touch on polymorphism. What is polymorphism? So polymorphism means, poly means many and morphism means forms, correct? Yeah, perfect, absolutely, Tavish. Many forms, right? So can you name any polymorphic commodity? Water is polymorphic. Water is polymorphic because it can take many forms. So I can have water in liquid form, that is drinking water. I can have water in solid form, that is ice. I can have it in gaseous form, that is vapor. So one commodity is taking different forms at different times. That is called as polymorphism. So in Java, we achieve polymorphism by function overloading and function overriding. Function overloading and function overriding. So we have these two ways. Now what is overloading and overriding? If you have two functions in the same class, okay, this is in the same class. If you have two functions in the same class having the same name but different signature, this is called as overloading. So if you have multiple functions with the same name but different parameter list, okay, the function name is same. So function name is same and the parameter list, what we have function, it takes arguments. Parameter list is different. That is called as function overloading. So here function name is same, but the parameter list is different. This is called as function overloading, and you can have them in the same class. You can have them in the same class, function with the same name. Abstract class. Yes, abstract class will have a body. Abstract class means you can have inside something. It's about abstract method. So if a class contains a single abstract method, that class becomes an abstract class. So there is no question about abstract class having a body. This parenthesis is called the body of the class. Okay. So this is called as overloading. And to achieve overloading, you do not need multiple classes. In one single class also, you can do overloading. Okay, so let me give an example. So if I come to this new class, they have a class shape. And if I want to make public void area and radius, I can say double. What will it return to me? It will return to me 3.14 into radius into radius. And similarly, if I say area and if I say length, comma, breadth, and I will return what? Length multiplied by breadth. So see, in the same class, I have two functions with the same name, but different argument list. So I can go and make a main method. Okay, so I can say shape main or whatever you can call shape driver, because the driver class has the main method, right? So whenever you make a class, first you have to make object of the class. So I make shape S1 is new shape. Okay. And then with this S1, if I say S1 dot area and I pass only one value, it will call this area which has only one value. So we'll calculate the area of a circle. So I can say over here, this out, okay. I can just this out, area of circle is, and I can call this over there. Okay, this will call me area of circle. And similarly, if I want to find area of a rectangle, I'll pass to the same function. I'll pass two values, 5, 10. So this is called as overloading. See here, area of a circle is 78.5 and the area of rectangle. How come 157? What did we do, guys? Length. Okay, why did we write pi over? Pi was not required, right? Correctly, you can return this. So now this will make more sense. Okay. So in one class, we can do for overloading, we do not require multiple classes. Even in one class, we can do overloading. Okay, so if I write one more function with the same name and any change in the, so you have to change the type, okay? You have to change the type of the data. So if I have int double, this will be a new type. Okay, if I have double int, this also is a new type. So you have to change the, so double int, so you can have as many permutation of the method you want. So if I want double, I can have that also. Okay, so the same method, any change in the parameter list order will qualify for a new overloaded method. So see, the function name is same, area, but all will have different parameter lists. This is int radius, one integer, two integer, integer double integer, double. You can have different permutations over here. So in the same class, we can do that. But when we come to overriding, this should be a bit tricky to understand, and this should not be that difficult, but we'll try to explain it to you all. So overloading, and in overriding, what happens is same name, same parameter list. So area with a blank and area with a blank. And area with a blank. You have as many you want. So this is called as function overloading. Same name, same parameter list. Now, for function overloading, there's a prerequisite that you need inheritance. There's a prerequisite. There's a condition for that you can only achieve this if you are using inheritance. So for that, in the same class, you cannot do overriding. The same class, you cannot do overriding. For overriding, you'll have to use inheritance. So if I show it to you all, okay, let me take one more slide and we'll try to explain it to you. And we'll try to add some new things also so that we all understand the concept very clearly and nobody can confuse you in the interview. Okay, so let's say I have a class called Amitabh. Okay. The Amitabh class has a public void function called home. Anyone have any idea how's the name of Amitabh's home? Everybody knows the name of Shah Rukh Khan's home. Does anyone know the name of Amitabh Bachchan's home? Called Jalsa. What is it called? Jalsa. Okay, so we have a class from Amitabh which has a function called home, and the function is public, so it can be inherited, right? If the function would have been private, it was a non-inheritable function, but home function can be inherited. Then for this class Amitabh, I make a class Abhishek and says extends Amitabh. Now, how many functions directly has Abhishek got now? Even though Abhishek is not having anything, but how many functions is Abhishek having now? How many functions are there in the class Abhishek? You can tell me. Just by the virtue of inheritance, how many methods are there in the class Abhishek? One, correct? Okay. Now Abhishek goes and buys a car. Now there are how many functions in Abhishek? Now there are total how many functions in the class Abhishek? Who will tell me? Two functions, namely Manisha and Abhishek. The two functions in the class Abhishek are. So even though it is showing over here 1, but by virtue of inheritance, Abhishek also has the home, right? Which he has inherited from Amitabh, correct? So Abhishek is also having a car and Abhishek is also having a home, but home has been inherited from Amitabh, right? Okay, so if I come here and if I make an object of Abhishek and I say new Abhishek, and with this object, if I say A1 dot home, what will it display? It will display me Jalsa. And if I say A1 dot car, what will it display me? It will display me Audi. All good till here? Let's try this. So we are a bit voluminous today. So first let me make a class Amitabh. The Amitabh class, let's make a public void home and say sysout else. Let's make a new class Abhishek and it extends from Amitabh. And now if I make a new class, okay, inheritance. So overriding we have to say overriding main or current driver. The class which has the main and mark it as a driver. So if I go and make an object of Abhishek, make object of Abhishek, can I call home with Abhishek? See, and I give you a dot, and we have the function home. Even though I have not written the function home in Abhishek, I am still able to call it. And what will it display me? Any guesses? It will display me Jalsa, right? So it is proven that the home function is there in Abhishek, right? Okay, once home is there, Abhishek tries to buy his new car. So we'll just take this same, I'm just changing the name of the function of the commodity. So he says, okay, I have got the home, let me buy a car. So now if I display after A1 dot car, what will it display? Jalsa and Audi here. So it's proven that Abhishek is having both the methods, correct? So even now, if Abhishek is having home, Abhishek still wants to write a home again and say new Jalsa. So here Abhishek is overriding. What it is doing? Overriding. So function with the same name and same argument in the subclass. So in the subclass, writing function with the same name and same parameter list is called as overriding. Is called as function overriding. So even though Abhishek had a home, but now it is giving the function, it is making a same function with the same name and the same argument also. So what is he doing? He is overriding. So you can put an annotation over here at override. It is not mandatory, but if you can put it just for understanding purpose. So now if I come here and run, what will be the output of the code? Earlier it gave me Jalsa and Audi. Now Abhishek has overridden the home. So now what will it display me? Now what will it display, guys? Send in your answers on the chat. Now what will it display? Who will tell me? Still will it display Jalsa Audi, or will it display new Jalsa and Audi? Audi and new Jalsa, yes. No, why not? It will not display both Tabish. It will display any one. It will display, no, it will not display Jalsa and Audi Abhishek. Now it has overridden it, right? So now the home which he had got from Amitabh, Abhishek has override. You know, override means you superimpose. So if earlier the legal marriage age was 18 for women, and now this government has made it 21. So what have they done? They have overridden the rule. So if home was coming from Amitabh was Jalsa, he's overriding it with new Jalsa. So now whenever with Abhishek object, whenever I will call home, what will it display me? Whose home? Amitabh's or Abhishek's? Yes, Manisha, Sandhya, you are right. So now I have the answer as new Jalsa and Audi. So what has happened over here? What has happened over here in Abhishek? We have overridden. So what does overridden means? In the subclass writing function with the same name and same parameter list is called as overriding. If I would have done this, would you call that as overriding? Would we call this as overriding? So now if I comment this, Will I call this as overriding? Has overriding happened over here? Has overriding happened over here? Has overriding happened over here? Yes or no? No, overriding, no Tavish, overriding has not happened. Because for overriding, you need same name and same argument list. What you need for overriding? You need the same name and the same argument list. Here, the name is same. The name is same as Amita, home. But the parameter list is not the same. Here, it is non-parameterized. And in Abhishek, it is one integer parameter is there. So what has happened over here? Now, how many homes does Abhishek have? Now, how many home methods does Abhishek have? Yes, guys. Now, Abhishek has two home. One which Amitabh has given, and two he has made his own also. So, if I call the non-parameterized home, so now what will it display? So if I call the home which is non-parameterized, it will use the home which Amitabh has given, which is it? Jalsa. And if I call a parameterized home, parameter means it is using an int as a parameter, no? If I call a parameterized home with an integer, let's say an integer 5, and now it will show me Mandan. Getting it, guys? Who's understood the concept of overriding and overloading? So when the function name is same and the parameter list is different, that is called as function overloading. And when there is a function with the same name and same parameter list in the super and the sub class, that is called as function overriding. Getting it? Polymorphism understood? Both the features of polymorphism understood? Okay. Now I want to come back to the final keyword. So I wanted to explain polymorphism. So it will have helped you. So I wanted you all to understand the keyword overriding. So if once overriding is understood, now you can understand what is final keyword. So if the examiner asks what is final keyword in Java, it is same as asking, saying India is the largest country. So you will now argue largest with regards to what, right? Is it largest with, in what context it is largest? You will argue and say, in which context are you speaking? Are you speaking, is it the largest economy? Is it largest with regards to GDP? Is it largest with regards to per capita income? Is it largest with regards to educational institutes? That India has the largest educational institutes. Is it largest with agricultural land? In what context are you saying India is largest? Similarly, when the person asks final keyword, so you can say final keyword can be used in three contexts. Final keyword, if asked in the interview, take your time and explain the interviewer. It can be used in three contexts. First, if put before a data member. Okay, so if in a class we have data members, right? So if put before means prefixed. Okay, we can do that. If prefixed to a data member, then that data member becomes a constant. Then that data member becomes a constant. Constants mean not modifiable. you cannot modify that data. So if I put final before any data member, that data member cannot be modified. It becomes a constant. Okay, so final can be put before a data member. Final can be put before a method name. And final can be put before a class name also. You can put final in these three situations. Final data member, final class method name, and final class name. Now we're studying each context. If I put a final before a data member, what happens is, okay, so let me show you this example. So if I make a class, okay, let's say I'm a class student. So I make a class calculator. Okay, let me add main. So in this class calculator, I take a date integer, or I say double, and if I say gravity, and if I say 9.8, can this value be modified? Can I modify this value? If I say out and say old gravity was 9.8, and then I come and I change the gravity incremental by 1, and then say new gravity is 10.8. Should it allow me to do this? Should it allow me to do this? Can gravity be modified, guys? So to a data member, if I say final, then you will see if you are trying to modify this data, it will not allow. If you take the cursor over there, you will say a final variable cannot be assigned. Okay, you cannot modify. Once you have initialized it, then you cannot reassign the value. You cannot change the value. So final, if put before a data or put before a variable, that becomes a constant, right? First example. Final, if put before a method name, then it cannot be overridden. Cannot be overridden means with the same name and same arguments, you cannot make a function in the child class, in the subclass. With the same name and same argument, you cannot make a function in the subclass because you cannot override. Okay, so if I come here, the class Amitabh, is home final? Is home final, guys? Yes or no? Have I made the home method final? Have I prefixed the final keyword before the home method? Yes or no? Anyone? One person? No. So if I have not made it final, then I can override it. Means in the subclass, I can make a function with the same name and same argument list. I can make a function with the same name and same argument. I can override it. But if I write over here final, then see what happens in the class Abhishek while overriding. See, class Abhishek is having an error now. And you come here and you will see it is showing an error. And what error it is showing? Take the mouse and check. It says cannot override the final method. So once a method becomes final, means it becomes non-overridable. You cannot override the final method, means with the same name and same parameters, you cannot make the function again in the subclass. Yes, if you can overload it. You can overload that function, but you cannot override it. See, with the same name and different parameter, you can always make Well, this is called as overloading. This is called as function overloading. But with the same name and same parameters, you cannot make a function again because that function is called as final. So if I prefix final before a function name, it cannot be overridden. Any idea, okay, cannot be modified, okay, over here. Cannot be modified. If put before a data member or a variable name, it cannot be modified. If put against before a method name, cannot be overridden. Any idea what will happen if I put final before a class name? Any guesses? Send in your responses. Any guesses? Okay, I've got one response. Let's check. Yes, Anushka, absolutely correct. It cannot be inherited. It cannot be extended. So if I write final, okay, so now what is the error in Abhishek? You cannot override, so I comment this out. Then the error in Abhishek should go now. Yeah. What is the error in calculate? You're trying to modify the value of gravity, so you cannot do that. I comment this out. The error should vanish. Now if I come over here and say final class, public final class Amita, what do you think will happen now? And if I save this, again there will be an error at Abhishek. See. Why? Because final class cannot be inherited. You cannot inherit a final class. So if I come over here and sheet is showing me an error over here and check the error, this thing cannot subclass from the final class. You cannot subclass from a final class. Final class cannot be inherited. So final, the opposite of final is abstract. The opposite of final, exactly opposite, 180-degree opposite is abstract. Abstract does not apply to a data member. Abstract also has its three contexts. And what is it? If I put a class, cannot be inherited. Okay. Okay, so if I put it into one word, not modifiable. Not modifiable. Not overridden. And not inheritable. All not. Not inheritable. Exactly opposite of final is abstract. Just exactly opposite. Whatever final does, abstract does the opposite of that. Okay, but you cannot put an abstract before a data member. That's the only difference. You can have an abstract for, you don't have this pure abstract is not there. So abstract is there only for method name and class. So any guesses? If I put an abstract before a method name, then what does it become? Must override. Here it is cannot, here it is must. So, just the exact opposite. You have to compulsory override it. And if I put abstract before a class name, then it is must inherit. Compulsory you have to inherit that class. If you want to benefit from that class, you have to inherit that class. Else you will not benefit from that class. Okay, so in this sample, simple, I put the notes. So if you can just make a note of it in your own terms, will help you immensely in your interview preparation. These words are asked a lot in the interview, abstract and final. People tend to confuse. Okay, so keep a note of this so that you become, they don't trick you and try to confuse you in the interview. So final and abstract. Okay, so let's come back to our again starting discussion. So in an abstract class, you have both the options. You can have a method with the implementation, that is a concrete method. So a method which has an implementation, we call it as a concrete method. Okay, there is no keyword concrete, just for the terminology we are using. And if function is there without implementation, that is called as abstract. And what do we do then? We have to inherit this class and we have to override this method. Then only we can create an instance of the class, else not. So that's what I have done and shown to you all over here in my employee and new employee. So in my employee, if you observe, we had 3 methods. Out of this, one was abstract because it was having a name but was not having any implementation. So if in a class I have even a single abstract method, that class has to be marked with abstract. So abstract method must compulsory be overridden. An abstract class must compulsory be inherited. So then I had to make a new class which had to inherit the employee class and which had to override the abstract method. And then once all the methods were implemented, of that class we can make the, where was it? Of that class we could make the object. Okay, interface is, now why is Abhishek showing an error? Because Abhishek is trying to extend from Amitabh and Amitabh is my final class, so it is showing an error. So that's why to remove the error, I will remove the final keyword from here. Else it will keep on showing the error. I remove the error and save it. Now the error will vanish. Interface will just give you functionality. So let's see. Okay, let's make a interface. So let's say if I make an interface. Okay. So interface, let's say I make a interface as a shape calculation. Shape calculation. I make an interface by the name shape calculation. And the interface, I just put abstract methods. So all the methods are abstract. So I will say abstract double area and abstract double perimeter. So all the methods in the interface are abstract. See. So as all the methods are abstract, you can also ignore it because by default they are abstract. So even if I don't write the abstract keyword, it will still be abstract. So for the sake of it, I'm writing it. that all the methods in an interface are your abstract methods. Okay. Now what do we do to this then? We make classes which implement the interface. So I make a class circle, and this circle now promises to implement. Okay, so we implement the interface. Implements which? Shape calculation. And now as we have promised that we will implement the interface, now it is our responsibility to override all the methods of the interface. So it is my response. So if I just take the method over here and say, so now as we have told that I will implement the interface, so it is the responsibility of the class which is implementing the interface to override all the methods of the interface. So now I want double area. Okay. So let's say I will say return area of a circle is pi r. Let's take the radius as pi r square, and perimeter of a circle is 2 pi r. Now every class will implement it as per its own business logic. I can also make a class rectangle. I can make a class rectangle and say rectangle implements shape calculation. And now see there is a red line under rectangle. So now it is the responsibility of the rectangle class. So whichever class is saying I will implement the interface, it becomes the responsibility of that class to implement the to override all the methods of that interface. So I take the mouse over here and say add unimplemented methods, and now I need to override them with regards to the logic of a rectangle. So I will say return area will be length into breadth, and perimeter will be of a rectangle 2 times length plus breadth, 2 times length plus breadth. So each class can override it as per its own business logic. And now we can go and make a class to show the demo. So I will say interface driver and check the main in it. And now I can make the area of, make a method of circle. So I can say circle C1 is new circle, and with C1 I can call area, and with C1 I can call rectangle. Whatever it returns, I can call perimeter. So whatever it returns, I will display it. Okay, so I'll say sound area of circle. As it is returning, I will just directly display it over here. Similarly, area perimeter of circle will call C1 dot perimeter. Like this, and I can make the rectangle also. The interface will just give a abstract view of the system, as I mentioned. Rectangle R1, and with this we can call R1 and R1. Like this, guys. So the interface is a prime example of abstraction. but it is not showing me any of the implementation. It is hiding the entire implementation. It is just showing me the features. And the implementations is then there in the classes, how each class implements it. So to the client, I will not show the classes. To the client, I will just show the interface, that these are the functions which we are trying to implement. And the details of implementation will be hidden inside various classes. So circle is implementing the interface in its own way, and rectangle is implementing the interface in its own way. And then in the driver app, we can make the objects of these classes. So I make object of the rectangle class, the interface driver. So now if I save all and try to run this code, let's check. It will display me the output here. Area of circle is this, perimeter is this, area of rectangle is this, perimeter is this. I'm getting, guys? You understand polymorphism, abstraction, data hiding, encapsulation, setters, getters. So you finished all the various features of hoops. So this much would be sufficient for you all to answer confidently in the interview if asked. What is overloading, what is overriding, what is interface, what is abstract class, what is the use of abstract class. Okay, here if I try to do some, so if in the rectangle, if I come in the rectangle class, and if I do not override this, not tell me what will happen and what should be the solution for it, tell me. Let's see who has understood the session thoroughly. So such student will surely give me an answer. Yes, Anushka. Why should I declare the class as abstract? Because this class has promised that I will implement all the abstract methods, but it has overridden only one method. One method still remains abstract. So if in a class, even a single method is abstract, that class becomes a abstract class. Then what to do with this abstract class now? Then what to do with this abstract class? Then what to do with this abstract class? Then you make one more class which extends it. Then so now see over here, as this rectangle is an abstract class, it is showing me error over here that you cannot make an instance of the abstract class. So now I have to remove this. So now what I'll do is now I can't even use the references, okay? So what I will do now is I will make one more class called as new rectangle. And what does this new rectangle class do? One class extends another class, extends the rectangle class, because abstract classes used only for the sole purpose of inheritance. And now this new will implement the perimeter. So whatever is the perimeter, it will implement. So return 2 times length plus breadth. So now I can make an object of the new rectangle. Object of the new rectangle I can make. And what happened? Object of the new rectangle class can be made. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I will try to trick you all with these questions. So now you have to be very confident. Now why is it showing an error? And we have done the sorting of the error to a project clean, and the error should vanish. Okay, there's a semicolon over here. So error was of the semicolon. I save it, all the errors are gone. Getting it, guys? What I'm trying to show you all. Now let me push all this onto the GitHub repo and share the, today was day 8, right? So let me put all this code into the day 8 one. Along with that, if I need to save any of these, I'll save these also. Okay. The black, gray, and white example, that is done. And the final and abstract also. So I'm making one, I'm saving all these snippets also. Those which I don't need, I am deleting. Open all this, push this back. So guys, I've pushed all the code for today on the repo. You can take it from the repo. All good. Any issues, any questions, any doubts, anyone? Any doubts, questions, queries, concerns, anyone for today's topic? You can send it onto the chat. No concerns? Okay, Shushmita, you want to talk to them?
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Students, I have shared the attendance link again. Kindly mark your attendance and drop the session. We'll wait for 2 minutes, then we'll wind up the session. Okay. So make sure that you will be marking your attendance without marking the attendance. Don't disconnect.